Okay, so picture this. You're at the zoo, super stoked to see, like, a rare snow leopard. And boom, it's snoozing. Hardcore nap time. You ever feel like they should just, like, put up a cardboard cutout for those prime napping hours?
It's funny you should say that because some zoos, they've actually experimented with going a bit beyond the whole cardboard cutout thing, to give visitors at least a glimpse of something rare.
What you're talking about, full-on animal imposters,
So
right?
exactly.
Like, and we're not talking about, like, a strategically placed plushie in an enclosure.
Oh, no, no,
This
no.
all started with that one video, the one, the sun bear on two legs at the Hangzhou Zoo. Everyone on the internet was convinced it was just some dude in a suit.
Ah, yes, the infamous Hangzhou incident. That one really blew up online. It just goes to show how social media can basically act like a giant magnifying glass for all our skepticism.
Yeah.
I mean, suddenly the most outlandish explanation possible seems totally plausible,
Because everyone's saying it.
especially when everyone and their dog is chiming in online.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And it turns out it was a real bear.
It was.
But it got us thinking, how often has zoos tried to pull the wool over our eyes? Get ready for some unbelievable stories, from died dogs to rubber snakes, on this deep dive into the world of zoo shenanigans.
It really makes you question the lengths some zoos have gone to just to attract visitors and the ethics of it all.
It really does. So let's jump right into the most recent case of animal dress-up. A zoo in China decided to give a few Chow Chow dogs a panda makeover.
The Taizu Zoo.
Yeah.
They actually used dye to try to pass off these fluffy pups as pandas. And their response when they got called out, kind of interesting. They compared it to people dyeing their hair. But, it does beg the question, where's the line between just a funny makeover, a harmless prank, and something that's a little more concerning?
Right. Where do you draw that line? And this isn't even the first time someone's tried to swap a Chow Chow for a panda. Back in 2014, a traveling circus in Italy got busted doing the exact same thing.
Right.
And get this, they were charging people for photos.
Wow. That case really shows you how serious this can be. They weren't just trying to, pull a fast one for a laugh. They were straight up misrepresenting an animal for profit.
Yeah, that's not cool. So next time you're at a petting zoo and that panda winks at you, you might want to check for a hidden tail wag.
Yeah.
But get this, pandas aren't the only ones getting replaced by canine colleagues. We're talking a whole zoo crew of imposters.
Oh, yeah. One zoo in China, starting to see a pattern here, they had a Tibetan mastiff playing the role of a lion,
No way.
a regular dog as a wolf, and to top it all off, a fox impersonating a leopard,
What?
all at the same zoo.
You've got to wonder if the animals themselves were in on the joke. I mean, come on. At least try to get this species right. But it's not always about finding a furry friend to stand in. Sometimes it's about creating a sense of danger, like the Houston Zoo did with their rubber snake.
Oh, yeah, back in 1984, they actually openly admitted to putting a rubber snake in their reptile house.
Really?
Yeah, they said it was really difficult to keep real snakes alive and healthy in that particular environment,
Okay.
so they opted for the rubber version. But it raises a fascinating question. Even if you're upfront about it, is it okay to use an inanimate object to represent a living creature?
That's tough.
Yeah.
On one hand, you don't want to put an animal in a bad situation.
Yeah.
But on the other, a rubber snake,
Yeah.
it kind of takes away from the whole point of going to the zoo, right?
Yeah.
To see something real,
Something incredible.
something amazing.
Right. It makes you think, well, what are we really looking for when we go to the zoo? Is it entertainment, education, conservation? There's a real balancing act going on there.
Yeah, for sure. It really makes you think, what other behind-the-scenes secrets are zoos keeping from us? Are we just looking at smoke and mirrors half the time?
And in the age of social media, those smoke and mirrors can spread like wildfire.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, remember that whole human sun bear video from the Hangzhou Zoo?
Oh, totally. 1 minute there's just this bear standing kind of awkwardly,
Mhm.
and the next, the entire internet is positive. It's a person in a costume.
Exactly. It was wild. And that whole situation sparked a global conversation about how easily we question what we see, especially when it comes to something out of the ordinary.
For sure.
It even reminded some people of that South Korean movie Secret Zoo,
Oh, yeah?
where they had zookeepers dressing up as the animals just to, boost ticket sales.
Okay. Now that would be dedication to your job.
Right. Desperate times.
Totally. But it's funny, though, because it makes you wonder how much of what we see in zoos or even just in the world is not actually what it seems. Speaking of which, there's a whole other side to this fake it till you make it idea, the one happening in nature all the time.
Oh, you're so right. We tend to think of deception as a human thing. But the natural world, it's full of master impersonators, and
Yeah.
they've been at it for millions of years.
Sure. Yeah, forget those store-bought Halloween costumes. Mother Nature, she's got some serious tricks up her sleeve.
Oh, absolutely. Like, take certain spider species, for example. They've actually evolved to look and even act just like ants,
Whoa.
which lets them basically stroll right past their prey, totally unnoticed.
Now, that's what I call blending in with the crowd.
Ah.
And those turtles that imitate worms, genius.
Right. Isn't it wild? Some freshwater turtles, they actually use their worm-like tongues to lure in fish that think they're about to get a tasty snack.
Whoa.
Just goes to show how powerful deception can be in the animal world.
It's essential for their survival.
Exactly.
But if we're talking about the ultimate master of disguise in the animal kingdom, nothing beats the mimic octopus. I mean, this creature can transform into a sea snake, a jellyfish, even a lionfish. It's like straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It's incredible, right? The mimic octopus is like the poster child for adaptive camouflage. I mean, its ability to change its skin color, texture, even its body shape to perfectly mimic another creature. It's mind-blowing.
Makes those dyed dogs and rubber snakes seem kind of pedestrian, doesn't it?
In a way, yeah. But you know what they all have in common? They all point to this really complex relationship we humans have with animals. Whether it's our desire to be amazed by them, entertained by them, or even tricked by them.
So true. It all comes back to that question we keep circling around.
Right.
What does our fascination with zoo animals, real or fake, say about a relationship with the natural world? Is it a genuine connection?
Yeah.
Or is there something else going on there?
It really is the big question, isn't it? I mean, are we really so disconnected from the natural world that we're okay with just a quick glimpse of something that's completely fabricated? It's tough to say. It's a really complex issue. It's probably not as simple as a yes or no answer.
Right.
You know, it might be a little bit of both.
Right, like we crave that connection to nature,
Right.
but we're also drawn to the wow factor, the spectacle of it all.
Exactly. I mean, think about the mimic octopus with its insane transformations. That's incredible to see, whether it's on a nature documentary or in an exhibit.
Oh, totally. And I think whether it's a real octopus or, a dog with a serious dye job, there's something about that element of surprise that really grabs our attention.
It all goes back to that human need to explore, that drive to be surprised, to see things we've never seen before.
Totally. It's like that feeling you get when a magician does a really good trick. It's not actually magic, but you still can't help but be impressed.
Right, and maybe that's part of what draws us to zoos in the first place. They offer us this kind of curated glimpse into a world that a lot of us don't get to experience firsthand.
For sure. Like a window into the wild.
Yeah.
Even if that window is a little, smudged sometimes.
Exactly, and those little smudges, those distortions, they really make us think critically about what we're seeing and our roles as observers.
Totally. It's a good reminder that things aren't always as they appear, especially when it comes to the wild. And sometimes even wilder world of zoos.
Well said.
So next time you're at the zoo, really take a moment to appreciate the entire experience, the wonder, the curiosity, and yeah, even the illusions.
Because whether it's a real sun bear or like a really convincing costume, there's a story there.
Right.
And it's our job to dig a little deeper, ask the questions, and stay curious.
Absolutely. And if you're ever unsure about whether those pandas are rocking a hidden tail wag, you know where to find us.
That's right. We'll be posting some photos of the animal imposters we talked about today on our social media, so be sure to check them out and let us know what you think.
Until next time, keep exploring. And remember, sometimes the coolest discoveries come from the most unexpected places.